So anyways, today I'm going to show this thing off. It's a bit of a weird sort of build. I just sort of got bored as all sin because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I kind of really liked the way this critter worked. Once it comes up, yeah, there it is. And figured I might as well try to incorporate him into a deck. Of course, and it had to be Dragon Rulers, didn't it? So, yay. I have not actually given this any testing, so I'm not actually sure how consistent a deck this is, and I can't actually build it yet because it requires a couple of bits and pieces from our Dragons of Legend. But theoretically, the idea is get covered into the graveyard, drop your level 7 vanillas, overlay them with your Dragon Rulers, and do a whole bunch of little silly plays and whatnot. So, might as well just get on with the deck list. Being the Dragon Ruler's got to have your Blaster, Redox, Tempest, Tidal, that sort of jazz. Darkness Metal, I don't think any of these 5 need any sort of explanation. Red Eyes Wyvern, which I actually quite like, because it is a discarding outlet to get searches with Tempest, being a wind attribute, which people may actually be surprised to see, because, hey, look, dark, just about everything else, Red Eyes archetype is dark, but no, this one's a wind, which is actually quite awesome. So, this is just, it's also an 18 sort of stick, so you can sort of, like, maybe kind of sit on it, but not overly so. It's, yeah, but point is, it's there. Then for tuners, we have Debris Dragon, Corseska, and Double Flamville Guard, and they're all targets from consonants, which is always nice. One Red Eyes, which, like, if you were to if you were to build a deck pretty much like this, and make it as competitive as possible, it would not be a good idea to run Red Eyes Black Dragon, because it's not really the best option for attack or defense, so you'd probably be wanting to go for other options, but I'm running it because I see the opportunity to run a Red Eyes in a deck, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to run the damn thing. And unlike in the Blue Eyes Ruler deck, Red Eyes in this deck is not just a discard outlet for draw power. You can actually get it and synchro it with other bits and pieces to make awesome source and other stuff and whatnot. You can actually hit out with it. And then, so, that's actually not, is not really too bad. Then I have Double Hyozanru, which is the best vanilla that the deck has. It is the biggest bot that can be summoned from the Carbonadon with 28. So you can just sit on this, and your opponent can't get over it with Crimson Blade up, which is actually a matter of great importance when you consider Max C as a thing. I've also got Rearran, which is the second biggest bot that you can get out with Carbonadon, and going with this because running a deck like this means that you are going to open with some of your vanilla dragons, especially level 7 ones. So you have to find some way to get them out of your hand and probably into the graveyard and stuff like that. So Rearran's not too bad because it is a fire, so you can blow shit up with Blaster if you have to. Then we have Gilosauruses, which are providing the as the proxies for Carbonadon, which I'll now bring up. This effect right here, the damage calculation, this is like a once in a blue moon thing. If you go up against an opponent's like Pfeiffer's Bear and they've got no back row or something like that, then you can be like, yay, we can deal with that. But aside from that, you know, that's not really relevant. The most relevant part is putting it in your graveyard so that you can banish it and special summon a level 7 or lower dragon type vanilla from hand or deck in defense mode. That's the reason why we're running Hyozanru and Rearran, because they're two of the biggest defenders. So in this case, offense is not really that much of a necessity, since you've already got some pretty good offense in the Dragon Rulers, and you're probably going to overlay these anyway. Unless, of course, your opponent drops Max C, which in this case you can just go, if you go Carbonadon and your opponent drops Max C, you can just sit on a Hyozanru, because you don't really have to do too much else. You can just sit on that, and the opponent can't get over with Crimson Blader, like I said, and unless your opponent can like clear it off the board with something like Bear or something, you should be pretty fine to carry on with your plays next turn. So that's about it for Carbonadon. You can only use the special summoning effect once a turn though, so obviously got to pick your weapon wisely. And for other stuff, I've got Dandelion, which is it's just there, provides enough synergy with the deck to make it worthwhile. We have 2 Card Troopers, because one of the biggest issues with this deck is getting Carbonadon into the grave as soon as possible. So Obviously, Card Trooper is just all round good purpose for getting those into the grave and getting other fuel into the grave for stuff like your Dragon Rulers and whatnot. Then we got Curry Bandit, which pretty much is like Card Trooper on steroids. And the only reason I run Card Trooper is because you can make Black Rose by bringing it back with Debris Dragon, which is nice. Curry Bandit, which is always nice. Plus, on top of milling out your Carbonadons and Dragon Ruler fuel and stuff like that, if you hit any spells with it, you can get one of those spells added to your hand, so you can use that next turn. So if you get one, if you draw power cards, you can use that in tandem with what's in your hand and everything like that. And plus, if you've got Wing Beat, you can make pushes on your next turn with using that and whatnot. And we got a couple of effect failures just to fill up space. It's just sort of there. And for the spells, we've got Triple Upstart to make the deck 37, Dragon Shrine for deck thinning, Cards of Consonance for more deck thinning, Sacred Sword for even more deck thinning. Kind of wish this was not at 1 because there's 9 level 7 dragons in this, level 7 monsters in this deck. I think that this would be brilliant at 2 or 3, but having to deal with 1 for the time being. Gold Sark, which theoretically speaking, the best card to banish with Gold Sark would be Tempest, because you can get a search of a Wyvern, and then in a couple of turns' time, if you still have the Wyvern, and you get the Tempest to hand, you can then pitch the 2 to search out pretty much whatever monster you want that fits the situation. So if you've got like a dead Rear-Ran in hand, you can get Blaster and pitch the both of those to blow up a card. If you've got like Dandelion in hand, you can grab Redox and get a special summon effect. Or if you just need or if you've got like a Trapstone in your back row, you can search for Darkness Metal and then just flip the Trapstone and push for damage on that turn. So there's a whole bunch of different purposes that you can use, and it all starts with the Gold Sark. And it shouldn't be that difficult to get to your hand because, of course, you're excavating a whole bunch of shit with Curry Bandits. Then we've got Foolish Burial, which is an instant Dandelion or Carbonadon into the grave. Most of the time it's Carbonadon, so you can put Charizard Ruin the board. And then we've got a Wing Beat to just clear the board for more pushes. And then Dark Hole, once again, for more board clearance. And then we've got a couple of Trap Stuns, which, as I said earlier, if you've got Trap Stun on the back row, you can just flip that up and pitch Tempest to get Red Eyes Darkness, and you can just push for a lot of damage as well. If you've got like Blaster and you have the food to get Blaster, then you can push for an even 8 grand and just wreck your opponent. So for the extra deck, this is pretty much sort of toolboxy in a way, but it's pretty much about as standard as you could see in any sort of Dragon Ruler deck. So we've got our rank 7s, we've got Dracosac, we've got Big Eye, Master of Blades, Gaia Dragon. I'm running these because basically I'm trying to visualize the deck as I would have it with the bits and pieces that I've got in real life, because I'm not buying a second Dracosac, because it's just, I'm not shelling out that much freaking money for it. If you've got a second Dracosac, by all means run it, maybe over the Master of Blades or something like that, but whatever. I've also got no Tomb, because this is a thing, Xyz Encore is a thing, so if I think my opponent's going into got an Xyz Encore, I go into Gaia Dragon, because that way I know once a Gaia Dragon is hit by because a Gaia Dragon does not detach materials, all the other ones do. Well, except for Master of Blades, although Master of Blades is actually not such a bad idea. You know, if you go with one of these and then it gets Xyz Encore, you can just put 2 level 6, you got your 2 level 6 dragons, so you just make a tomb, and then that from there, if you've got if you got enough food and resources, you can put a tomb, stack Gaia Dragon over it, and then make Dracosac, Big Eye, or Master of Blades, depending on the situation. So it basically punishes your opponent for dropping Xyz Encore, because you're just going to go even more plus. Then for Synchros, we've got Star Eater. It's just sort of the big thing. Generic level 8 Synchros in the form of the Stardust, the Scrap Dragon, the Crimson Blader, and the Thought Ruler Archfiend. They're always nice. Black Rose and Ancient Sacred Wyvern for the 7s. Ancient Sacred Wyvern's only really in there because Effect Veiler is a card. Armadez for just saying no to back row. Balmung, I could easily go with Armory Arm, but I just felt like rolling Balmung because I can just get back something in the graveyard. Like if I can probably get like a card trooper, just sit it in defense. I think it's in defense. Yeah, I can just sit it in defense, and then if the opponent runs into that, I get another +1 out of it. And then formula, because tokens, level 1 synchros, that sort of jazz. I wish I could fit Shooting Star Dragon into this deck because that would be just so professional, but unfortunately I cannot. So the side deck, I just sort of threw it together. I've got a couple of Exploder Dragons, a couple Max Cs, a couple Xyz Encores, because obviously Evil Swarms are not this deck's best friend. So, triple MST to get rid of irritating shit like Imperial Iron Wall, that's annoying. Capol's Bottomless Torrential and Solemn Warning, because if the opponent sees you flip Trapstone game 1, and then you'll be like, okay, well, he's not running that many back row, let's just not worry about the MSTs. You can just counter-side by throwing all these things in, and then when you torrential the opponent's board, and when they've made field presence, it's just like, wait, what the hell just happened? And then a couple of Vanity's Emptiness just to complete the side deck. I don't know if I'm going to keep those, or if I'm going to drop it for something else, but it's just sort of there, because I felt like putting it in there. So that's it for this deck list. Like I said, hasn't gone through any testing yet. So the level of consistency of this deck has not actually been determined yet. I don't plan on testing this until Carbonetton actually does come out in DN. So and the only other question there is, why did I record now instead of waiting until Carbonetton? Because I felt like recording. I just felt like doing something with my time instead of just sitting back and watching Psychedelic Eyeball System Shock 2 multiplayer playthrough. So it's just like, yeah, sure, let's just try doing something a little bit different. I mean, I've been considering doing, finally getting around to doing episode 4 of Brutal Doom as well, so hopefully I can get that done. I've got to get it done before the end of the year, because, yeah, I want to be able to actually get to the end of the year and then not have to worry too much about this particular channel, and then so all of my concerns are towards the Lord Radstar channel. So yeah, so that's about it. Don't know what I'm doing next, so just see what happens. See you for whatever it is I do next.